What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today, better angle, but we have a lot of MMA, UFC news to talk about. Drinking a Michelob. I do say Michelob Ultra, so shout out to Sean Strickland. Anyways, so yeah, there's some big news. There are some fights that are coming up, which are going to be awesome. The one that, in my opinion, is probably the biggest news that we found out is that Colby Covington is going to be fighting the one, the only Leon Edwards. Coughing there. But man, this is going to be very interesting. Colby Covington has not won a fight, honestly, I want to say within the past 2 years, maybe. He's definitely on a losing streak. I do know that. But Colby Covington is definitely a character in the MMA. When I do say character, I don't like to refer to him as this, but I guess the best example that I can think of is similar to like a WWE character, where they're personifying something that they want, like the image that they want. I think Colby is trying to represent that kind of American wrestler, similar to Kurt Angle. Very just about American rights, that whole kind of thing. I'm not taking away from who he is. I do actually like Colby Covington, but I think, again, we have this character going up against Leon Edwards, who has put on such an amazing performance against a very, very good champion, Kamaru Usman, not once, but twice, obviously with that amazing knockout, that leg kick, and then again defended it by a decision. So, man, what do I think of the fight? I mean, honestly, do I think that Colby Covington is the most deserving of the belt? No. But to be honest, I think in terms of a storyline, I think it makes a lot of sense. I know Leon Edwards and Colby have had issues in the past. There's been run-ins before. So I do think in terms of like the press conference, the build-up for the fight, I think it's going to be great. Stylistically, if we think about Colby, has very, very good endurance, just a lot of strikes being thrown throughout the entire fight. Great wrestling game, just really strong wrestling backgrounds. But again, I think he has some great strikes. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, going up against Kamaru Usman, Colby had a lot of issues. Kamaru was just really strong in terms of his defense, but also just like reading Colby. I think Leon Edwards is an amazing striker and has a really good and underrated wrestling that I think a lot of people kind of just like overlook. So it's going to be a really interesting fight. I really think that the build-up is going to be worth watching, and especially the press conference. I think that's going to be crazy to see. I'm a big wrestling fan, WWE, when I say that. And also, I do like wrestling too, but I really liked when Colby Covington came out to Kurt Angle's theme. I hope he continues to do that again. I think that was just great. Do I think Colby Covington will be champion? I'm going to be honest, Leon Edwards has looked really, really good, and it seems like he just keeps improving. In my opinion, I think the way that Colby Covington would win, and I just think is honestly just putting a lot of pressure on Leon Edwards, and pressure in the sense of almost like Sean Strickland, where like the entire fight, he's just pushing it and pushing it. Leon has some really good endurance, and it'll just be interesting. But I really think Colby Covington is going to have to really pressure him. I think like playing the kind of distance game isn't really going to work with Leon Edwards. I think in terms of wrestling, I think Colby's going to have to be very specific about when he tries to shoot, because Leon just, again, has really good defense. We saw it against Kamaru Usman. And obviously, got to be careful with those head kicks. I know Colby, I don't believe Colby's ever been knocked out. You can fact check me on that, but obviously there was like the broken jaw and everything. But it's going to be interesting. I think the build-up, again, is just going to be the best part. I'm really looking forward to that. Because of the run-ins that they have had. I do know Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy, is having a fight, and I'm butchering the guy's name, and I may even just not even say it, but Stephen Thompson finally has a fight against a ranked fighter. I remember Stephen Thompson being called out by someone who's not even in the top 10, I don't think even the top 15 And I think that's honestly a fair statement. I think if you're someone who's in the top 10, you're a top 10 fighter, and someone else calls you out, and you're not even in the top 10, I don't think you're really worthy of even challenging them. So yeah, gonna be interesting. There's also some new news, get it, about Valentina Shevchenko, and Alexa Gross. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm so sorry. So the Nevada State Athletic Commission has come out with a statement on Twitter. Referees are going to be put through a training for 10-8 rounds. So what that means is they're going to train people about what defines a 10-8 round. Obviously, Valentina Shevchenko is very upset with the decision, and rightfully so. I think it's a pretty fair thing to say. I think to put it as a 10-8, I think even if you lost, like let's just say if that's your opinion, or even if you think the other fighter won, I still think to give that a 10-8 round, I think is just insane. I think what they're doing is right. Now, I felt like they should have overturned it, in my opinion. I don't think that's ever really happened in a UFC fight. I know there's been like no contests, but I think it just wasn't right. I mean, 10-8, like that just, I don't think anyone saw it as a 10-8. A lot of the time people say, oh, it's a 10-9 for her, 10-9 for them. This time, I was like blown away. I don't know how that not ref, I don't know how that judge decided to say, okay, this is going to be a 10-8. And if you look back at the fight, like there's no possible way to say a 10-8. I think UFC fans are really particular about that final round, and I think people love to say that they know what like it was scored. But I think everyone is kind of mutually coming together and just being like, that is not a 10-8 round. And I think when that many people are saying things, Dana White, I mean, I'm sure there's even other referees that are being vocal about how that was not a 10-8 round. Yeah, just crazy. Lastly, I did want to talk about Israel Adesanya. So obviously he did make a statement about the Sean Strickland fight. I think he's handling it the right way. In my opinion, again, I said this in a previous video, I think Israel Adesanya needs to take a break from fighting, not in the sense of like, staying in camp, like just training. But I think in terms of like his next fight, I do think he kind of needs a break. The guy has been so dominant for so long. I just think it would kind of be nice. Again, it's completely up to him, but just in my opinion, I think it would be nice if I was a champion for that long, got knocked out, or not got knocked out, but like went to the decision, had a guy pretty much dominate me the entire fight. I think I would just kind of take time off, let the division kind of change a little bit, and then you get to kind of choose where you want to come back to. I think that would be nice, but I will say I think he's a very respectful champion. Obviously, there were comments that were made, towards other fighters, but I think at the end of the day, he did give a lot of credit to where credit is due for Sean Strickland, and that amazing performance, that kind of once-in-a-lifetime performance. Honestly, I don't know if he'll ever do that again because of how dominant it was, but great to see that he's finally making video talking about the fight, because I know people do like to hear Izzy, whether you like him or you don't. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the Colby Covington and Leon Edwards fight. Really looking forward to it. And yeah, don't illegal stream. All right, don't do it. All right, peace out. Bye.